Good afternoon. My name is Rudi, and today I will be in for the Sharetrackin Refined Advisors. So how the Refined Advisor basically work is it refines your searches for you for CFD. For instance, if you want to open a long or a short position, then the Refined Advisor will assist you in finding the correct share. Okay, so to do that, once you've logged into the software, on your left hand side you'll find dashboard analysis, and then underneath your analysis you'll see that you've got a stocks tab over there. So when we click on stocks, it's going to give us my stocks and watch lists, share filters, and then the additional advisor. Now the Sharetrackin 2020 advisor, if you don't have it, we can open it for you. So all clients are supposed to have the Sharetrackin 2020 advisor. So when we go to additional advisors, it will give you all your normal advisors, but there's only one advisor that we're going to add here. You must know that if you use the Sharetrackin 2020 advisor, you can't use any of the other advisors, only the Sharetrackin 2020. Okay, so that is the refined advisor. So when we click on Sharetrackin 2020, it's going to start loading all the shares with all the positions. If you can open a position in a long, or if you can open a position in a short. All right. So now it opened our Sharetrackin 2020 Refined Advisor, and you'll see that it's the same thing as per usual. It gives all the codes for all the companies, the names for the companies, the closing price in rand, the volume trade, and then share 2020 hold advisor or buy advisor, and then if it's in a long or a short. Now the only thing you're going to do there by the Sharetrackin 2020, you're going to enter the word open. That's it. So you don't need to do any other filtering, just open, or you just type in the word open, and that would tell you if you can open a position in a short or open a position in a long. Now long obviously being buying a share when it's going in an upward trend, and short being putting in a selling order in a downward trend. So you can basically buy up or down. All right, if we take DTC for instance, and as an example, it's currently in a short. So some people ask me, but how do you make money in a downward trend? Now that works more or less the same as if you're trading Forex. Right, because with a rand dollar exchange, you can make money in an upwards or a downwards direction. It works exactly the same, but this time only with shares instead of with currencies. So if I click on DTC, it's gonna pull the security details for Chartiq Limited, and then I just click on Charts IQ, and it's going to take me directly to the chart for that share. So once it's loaded up, then I'll show you exactly where the short position would have been. Now this updates this basically updates every hour. So for instance, this morning it could have been a short. Yesterday it also could have been a short. So this one was for 19th. This is the 23rd. So the short was more or less over here on the 18th, or you can say there on the 19th. So that was the short position. So this one still did an update, but you could have bought in a downward direction. So if I take my line, my vertical line, so right over there, that would have been I would have bought up here or put in a short right up there, up here on 15, closed the position on 27.52. All right, so that would have been a CFD trade. That would have been a daily trade. Sometimes you can short from this position way up here. Okay, so put in a position over here. So basically that would have been your selling position or shorting position, that as well in a stochastic. So right there, you could have been in a short and kept it on for a long term for about a week. Okay, and then sold it out again on the 3rd. So from 18th until the 3rd, you could have kept on to this as a short. Okay, so make money in a downward trend. A long would be the other way around. So if we close this and we take the next, which tells us long, so this one over here, Liberty Holdings, or let's take one that's on the winning shares list. Okay, so all of these with the red stars on the winning shares list. So take Mustang. Just wait for it to load. Okay, it's taking also, we can just pull up here. So MST. So there we go. We can put in for a long, which was correct. So this morning, right over there, 10, right, more or less, you could have put the order in at 9:10 or 9:13 on the opening, and then a high of 9:59. So this is correct. So the bought in, all right, put in a long, and then obviously right over here, morning, put in your selling order, all right, or at the end of the day, put in your selling order. So this one told us that we could have put in a long, all right, from 10 up until 9:59 for the day so far. All right. So shorting is downward trend and long is upward trend. So angle on the stochastic, see how it works is it looks at a 45-degree angle. Stochastic is crossing a downwards or upwards trend, and then it for a short, but also looking at a 5-day moving average. There's a few other things that are also calculated to tell you if this share is a long or a short. Now, if we wanted to, let's say, take Mustak and we want to go and long the share, what we do is we just click on the share, so any place within the share, and so when we to our trader, always go down to accounts, an extra investment account, trader account with your opening balance and the name and the dates, and then you just create that account. Now over here, what we're going to do is we're going to change the margin percentage to a default of 20. Okay, usually you'd only change the leverage. So if you're trading through Standard Bank, for instance, the gearing ratio would always be the leverage. So whenever you pull up a quote on Standard Bank, they will give you the gearing ratio. So you will enter that gearing ratio it gives you. Let's say, for instance, like Sabania. Sabania is currently is 7.41. Then it'll give you a margin of around about 13%. And so that margin means that you're only paying currently 20% of the original price. You're not paying full price per share. You're only paying 20% of the original price. Okay, so you can obviously when you're trading, say through Standard Bank, you'll be able to buy more CFDs than what you would be able to buy equity, because equity obviously is a 1-to-1 ratio. So you're paying full price per share instead of only 20% per share. So that will cause that you'll be able to buy more shares. All right. So if I put in amount of, let's say, 125 shares, okay, now tell me that required margin is 239 rand and 25 cents, and then the total cost would be 1,196 rand and 25 cents. Okay, so I'll only be paying 239 rand. Okay, but my exposure would be 1,100 rand. Okay, so if I put in more shares, let's say I put in 500, okay, then my required margin would be 957, so that's what I'll be paying, but my exposure would be 7,000, would be 4,700. All right, so that's what my CFDs would be worth. Right, so obviously the more you buy, the higher your required margin would be, but your exposure would also be higher. Okay, but just remember the higher exposure. All right, so let's say your exposure was around about you by 50,000 rand. Your risk also goes up. All right, so the more you buy, the more you put yourself at risk, but also your returns could be more as well. All right, so that's why we say you need to go and do analysis still on each and every one of these if you're looking at long putting in a long or a short. Yeah, that's why it's important to put in your trades let's say the moment that the market's open, let's say at 9, then your trade should be put in around about here by 10. Okay, so that you can see the movement on those longs or shorts. All right, so usually the rule of thumb with CFDs is trade between 11 and 3. Okay, so open your opening positions at 11 and then close positions around about by 3, unless you're doing a long-term CFD up until 2 weeks. All right, so I would say the longest term is around about a week to 2 weeks. All right, then you put in your comment. All right, so your comment over here can be anything. It can be SBK trade. Or anything that you'd like to put in there. Just remember, if you're buying from the normal simulation account, you still need to keep the T's and C's. But over here, you can put in whatever comments that you want. All right. So if it was a Standard Bank trade, you can say the SBK trade, and then we open a long because it tells us to open a long position. So when I say open long position, and then it's just going to confirm that long position for me once it's done with the transaction. All right, so it's already open. All right, so once I've opened a position, I go to my dashboard, go to my trader dashboard, and then the share would be there, or the CFD. So it will say that MSC has been bought. So it currently no movement on it. Okay, so if I want to go and sell it now or close the position, I just go to the action on the right hand side and then say close position. But I can also set my target value in stop losses. So a target value, let's say, of 10% and a stop loss percentage of 5%. All right, so I'd always go for a bit higher target, but with the lowest stop loss. All right, if it was an equity, then I could go on 10% stop loss, but because it's a CFD trade, I wouldn't go anything higher than the 5%. Sometimes you can go up until 8, but I wouldn't risk it. Okay, then I'll just update values. All right, but it would set it for you, but you won't be able to get SMS notifications on these. All right, SMS notifications only go from your investment dashboard if you're doing investments. Okay, but by this time, I mean, if you want any notifications around your should or Standard Bank or FNB your trust, then you should already have a account. Okay, so then if I want to close the position, just click on close position, and then it already have the amounts of shares, and then also just put in let's put in a comment. So let's say, for instance, I reach my target, I just say TV reached or target value reached or stop loss reached, and then I just say close position, and then it will close that position for me and take that share away. All right, so I think the refined advisors is the easiest way to find shares. You can also use the golden goose function. If you go look at two videos previously that I did explain how to use the refined advisors and the golden goose, but this is only based on the refined advisors, which is the Sharetrackin 2020 advisor, which is the easiest one to use because you only filter out on open, and that's it. And from there, you just need to go and you do some technical analysis on the chart itself to see if the share is going in a downwards or upwards trend. So obviously, short would be downwards trend, long would be upwards trend trade. Okay, so to 03 or 067 number, give us a call and we can explain a little bit more around the Sharetrackin 2020 advisor if you didn't understand anything in this session. Okay, so I'll see you next week, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail